everybody? I want to thank you for joining this episode. We're going to be starting real soon. Sorry to keep you waiting, but I hope you've enjoyed the smooth Western style tunes while we've been connecting up these cables. I have a fun episode planned for you today. Really cool topic that I've been interested in for the past few weeks. We're going to start the show in about 5 minutes. So if you need to take a toilet break, now's your time to do it. When you return, please ensure your tray tables are stowed in the upright position and your seatbelt is locked before takeoff. Thank you for joining us. Here we have it. Oh, the mattress. Fuck. Imagine imagine starting a show with "Here we have it." Here we have what? What is this guy on about? What are we having here? We're having none of this. Everybody, I want to welcome you to Since We Last Spoke, episode 16. 17. Wait, 16. Don't know the number of my own damn show. That's because time is flying, and my time in Milan is sadly coming to a close. That doesn't mean that I won't renew the Milan subscription, if that makes any sense. But it does mean that I will be having to figure out what my next move in is, and at the moment it will be coming back to Australia, and now bringing my work that I've built here in Milan back to Australia, and seeing how that representing it, because I'm really excited to bring this sort of mix between New York and Euro style to Canberra and Sydney and all the other amazing places around Australia where there's small little scenes that I feel like I can add something to. Anyway, enough about me. I want to welcome you to the show. Since we last spoke, I'm your host, Zeek the Kid. We're going to have a surprise guest joining us very shortly. And before we do, I'm going to start firing off. So the theme of the day today is life's hardest, toughest questions. I've been asking a lot of these myself recently. I've had conversations with a lot of really great friends, a lot of deep and meaningful topics recently. And lately I've been thinking a lot, about a lot of different things, but especially about some of the harder questions. Like, for instance, why don't we just start straight away with the first question? I'm going to have the questions show below, just here, and you'll be able to read them. Is that kind of satisfying though? I feel like it's not really satisfying in a way. It's blocked a little bit. Anyway, I'm just gonna roll with it. If you guys can't read, then I don't know what to do. You're clearly not a human. I don't even know how you found your way to this video. Clicked on the fucking link. Clearly, you might need a pair of these. Anyway, I'm sorry to call you out. So I'm going through some things, all right? So the first question is a hot dog a sandwich or is it a taco? Okay, we're going to start at the surface here. I have a list. It starts at the surface, and then we're going to dig our way through and go deeper into some more pronounced topics. As I literally ask it to find some more of the some more deep topics. Okay, what is the answer to this one? I mean, if you have a take, feel free to jump into the comments and write what you think. But the question being, is a hot dog a sandwich or is it a taco? I would I would personally define it. Damn, this is a hard one. This is one that just like instantly puts you in a corner to get cancelled. I feel like any one you pick. I'm going to say sandwich because in Australia we say sausage sandwich, all right? And that stands for something, okay? And generally speaking, I feel like a taco is constitutes things like mince and beans and chicken, and it revolves around the shape of what we associate as a taco, right? Which is sort of similar to a sausage sandwich, okay? A hot dog. Um, but the elements of a hot dog are simplified, all right? Whereas a taco, you have these taco challenges, and then again, there are some maximalist style hot dogs. I have seen some, and loaded hot dogs, which then borderlines on a taco dog. Maybe we invent a new name, the taco dog. How about that? I think that it's a viable answer to that question, right? The taco dog. Let's go with a deeply trivial and philosophical question. And the question is, if you replace every part of a boat over time, is it still the same boat? If you replace every part of a boat over time, is it still the same boat? So, I'm guessing this is if the boat is traveling on the okay, it doesn't, whether or not it's traveling, maybe not as relevant as much as it is like if the part is exactly the same. When you replace the part of a car, you replace it with the same numerical valued item to replace that bumper bar, right? It's like part 307 is the bumper bar you use to replace the bumper bar of your car. But I'm sure, and I don't know this for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that there are defining dates stamped or initialed on certain fabricated parts, right? That would make sense. Okay, like batch 34187. Is that like a reference to? I think I just referenced 34187 from somewhere. But sorry, we went on a tangent. Okay. So if you did then replace every part of the boat over time with the exact same parts, fundamentally, it wouldn't be the same boat, right? Because technically speaking, you've replaced the original parts for other original parts, but it's not the original. It's not what you started with, right? Like if I have like a pencil, what if I have like a pencil, and then if I run out of if I sharpen it all the way to the end, and then get another pencil, it wouldn't be the original pencil, but it's still the exact same. It's pencil Mark II. It's like Mark II, right? Isn't that generally why you have a Mark II of something? So the answer to the question, if you replace every part of a boat over time, is it still the same boat? I'm going to assume it's not. All right. If you have another answer to that, please put it in the comments because I'd be super interested to hear all you boaters out there. What the take is on that. Let's go with this. What question do we have here? Sorry for clicking. Okay. The question is, how does the do not disturb feature know I'm actually disturbing myself? How does the do not disturb feature know I'm actually disturbing myself? Why does this just sound like you using do not disturb to look up porn and not get a text from your mum halfway through. It sounds terrible. What is that even? How does the do not disturb feature know I'm actually disturbing myself? Does someone have a take on that? Because I do not know. The do not disturb feature cannot technically know. These are absurdities of modern technology. I'm not exactly sure um, what the answer to that is. What else do we have here? Let me find another question. Oh, this is a good one. Okay, here's one that I feel like I've been in the position before. Why do we say bless you when someone sneezes, but nothing when they cough? Well, I feel like I've still said when it's a single cough, there's different types, right? But I feel like when someone hits you with the I've said bless you before to that. I bless you is what I believe I said because I'm like, well, I don't know if it's a sneeze or a cough, but I'm going to cover myself for that. I'm not going to get left out here with the person thinking like I didn't even receive a blessing for that gracious, um, you know. So, but technically speaking, the fundamentals, I would I would say that it's hard to bless a cough because a cough just comes out and it's just like coughs are like ugly. I feel like coughs are like like there could be like something underlying in there, you know. But sneezes can be like they're kind of cute. It's like oh my god, it's like seeing a little dog, you know, just like fall over. You're like oh my god. But a cough is like I don't know. It's something complete. It's a different beast. You know, cough has this like big. It like enters the room and everyone's like, what's that? Oh, what's that smell? Oh, get out! Go, get out of here! What are you doing in here? Coughing all over the plate. You know, it's kind of like that. Whereas a sneeze is like, you're like, oh look at that. Oh my god, come here, come. You know what? Here's my wallet. My wallet. Just go and buy anything you want. I don't know. Do anything. Look at that person go. So it's sort of different. I feel like in that sense, where it's like, you know, the reason why we got lost, I got sidetracked, but the reason why we say bless you, if you're just joining, if you're just joining, I'm the host, Zeek the Kid. Welcome to the show. We're answering life's toughest questions. And right now, the toughest question is why do we say bless you when someone sneezes, but nothing when they cough? And what I am, are we making the argument that now we just, on every cough, you say bless you, or you say it at the end of the coughing timeline? Which is difficult to say because sometimes coughs are like, and then you could say, but, and it hits you with another cough. You know, the same happens with sneezing, but I feel like there's a definite start and end to a sneeze, but a cough could just be like, and it's too erratic. It's too erratic to know when to bless that person, because then otherwise, you know, everyone's been in that situation where how many bless yous do you even give to someone who's sneezing? So anyway, on to the next question. I'm going to keep this sharp and punctual. But if you have an answer to that question, feel free to put it in the comments section. If you're a sneezer, make sure you're always carrying tissues. The next question is, does an object have an intrinsic value? So a value inherent to itself, let's say that. I could be wrong on, anyway, does an object have an intrinsic value or is value purely a collective hallucination we've all agreed upon? It's actually crazy, this topic, because I've just had like a similar conversation with some very special people about this similar topic. And shout out to special people in general if you're watching this. Um, does an object have an intrinsic value, or is it purely a collective hallucination we've all agreed upon? I guess that's like that is kind of difficult to answer. Um, it depends on your stance on things and how invested you are in societal tropes. I feel like because the value we define on something a lot of the time is based on the use, and I guess it uh, it can be based on the use and the relevancy to us. Like if I obviously don't find something relevant to me or use, it's very rare that I like just collect it like a wrench. Like you're never gonna find me with a wrench just like in my back pocket. Um, if I'm a mechanic working on a car, you might find me with like a small portable wrench. Like I might just be like, I might just pull it out one day and use it as like a bottle opener or some crazy shit. And then it's like, whoa, you just have a wrench in your back pocket. I'm like, I'm a mechanic part time. What am I gonna tell you? I don't know why that came out in that way, but that's every mechanic accent. If you haven't heard a mechanic before, go and get your car checked. Probably you need to change the oil. It's probably about that time. So to answer this question, I'm going to say that it's a collective hallucination. Personally, I think that that's part of it, and you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with the collective hallucination as long as you acknowledge it and you acknowledge its power and its power over you in certain circumstances, and you do a little bit of reflection on what objects are meaningful to you if you have a lot of objects around. As I'm literally looking around at objects now, evaluating the relevancy to my life. like, how many of those do I really need? 20 cactus plants? Probably do not need 20 cactus plants. Although succulents are shown to improve dopamine in our brains. Let's go with reality, this category of question from reality and the unknown. Here we go. Let me just paste it in here. The questions will all appear down below. So if you want to check out the question, feel free. I'm also going to have a surprise celebrity guest appearance from a friend who'll be joining us in a moment to battle some of these questions. If our brains are just processing electrical signals, how do we know the red you see is the same red I see? Well, I feel like the simple answer to this is I'm going to say, what color is that? And you're going to say red. I'm going to then say, if I really want to know, is that light red or dark red? You're going to say whatever that red shade is. Then the shade of red, if it corresponds to the shade that I'm thinking of, I would then say we might be seeing the same red, but it's right. The question here, which is holding me at gunpoint, I'm like, this is like a guy on the street. What a terrible way to get robbed. If like someone pulled out their gun on you and was like, listen up. Oh, okay, I'm going to ask you a question. If you can't answer it, you're dead. And they're like, if our brains are just processing electrical signals, how do we know the red? Hear me? Red, you see, is the same red I see. Huh? What are you going to say? You don't have enough time at gunpoint to be like, I only see blue. That's a good one. Or you just say I'm colorblind. I wonder if he'll just like feel sorry for you. So anyway, all my terrible bits aside, if our brains are just processing electrical signals, the only way I could think of to know if the same red I'm seeing is the same red you're seeing is probably to open a photo app, a Photoshop tool, take a photo of the red, color drop from the photo image to the palette to generate the same red. And I just don't know I don't know where I'm going with that. I don't know where I'm going with that. Something like that. Okay. We have here a question in the category of the social and existential fabrics. Okay. This one's pretty interesting. I'm always interested in social and existential things. The question down below, you can see it scrolling like on the footer, which footer is bottom of the page tab, if you aren't aware. Is freedom the ability to do anything you want, or the discipline to do what is meaningful? This one's really deep, actually. It's so deep, I'm going to repeat it just so I can fully comprehend. Is freedom the ability to do anything you want? Okay. Or is freedom the discipline to do only what is meaningful? I'm going to twist the question a little bit, and I'm going to say that freedom is the ability to define what is meaningful to you in the first place. That is something that you should feel free to do. Part of doing that is reflection to define what is meaningful to you. And so, therefore, if something is meaningful to you, which requires you to do anything in that certain situation, and if the meaning is that you can do anything, if that's what you discern from reflecting on what the meaning is of things to you, then I think you should be free to make a decision in any way you so choose. But there is obvious consequences. Like, I feel like Newton's laws, to every action there is an opposite or equal reaction. Okay, like there is science. You will never beat science. I've tried. Okay, I stuck my hand in a Bunsen burner. All right, I lived to tell the tale, and the tale is the Bunsen burner wins. Okay, unless you like cup it over. Actually, there's some theoretical things to that, but we're gonna ignore that. Anyway, we're gonna ignore that. So, or the discipline to do only what is meaningful. Is freedom the ability to do anything you want, or the discipline to do only what is meaningful? I think it just depends on who you are as a person. I think some people are just terrible people, and some people are just terrible at being good, and other really good people are just too good, maybe. And everyone could do with a little bit more discipline in their lives. I think discipline is, I guess in our minds, is not freedom. So the two don't live like, they're connected by, I feel like, definition, that being being free, to being totally free, lacks a certain level of discipline, you know. But I still think you can be free and be disciplined at the same time. You know, it's like it's like when you tame a wild horse. I feel like there's a level of freedom in that horse that maybe it lusts for, and so you have to figure out a way that horse it can express that emotion. I don't know anything about horse training, so I mean, like, any horse trainers in the chat or that are watching this video, going to get on X and scold me and say Zeek is a fake horse trainer, all right? Because I'll let you know, I've never trained a horse in my life. Nor do I plan to. There's people who do that, and that's their thing. So I'm just going to respect that. But the way that a wild horse, once it's tamed, I don't know how often that happens nowadays, but I feel like back in the day, it's like it still is a wild, natured animal, and you've taught it discipline. So there's a dynamic between discipline and freedom that I think we should explore a lot more, because everyone loves being free. Nobody loves being totally disciplined. It feels like you're being indoctrinated. So you have to explore the middle, the in between, and the connections between that freedom and discipline. There's one for you as well. I feel like, also, side note, as an artist, being disciplined is like essential to creating good work, because if you need to be free, you need to let the horse go, but then you also need to figure out how to like get that horse back so you can control it. Otherwise you're just going to be like you'll just be free forever, and you'll never be able to like conjure up the discipline to kind of cultivate something that's truly great. Like, So I think there's something to that as well in like taming that. Next question. If you create something beautiful, but it never leaves your hard drive or studio, does its beauty actually exist in the world? This is a weird one because I feel like there's an obvious answer, and then there's also the answer that like other people might assume. Oh, sorry, no, there's other people might assume this to be the answer if you're creative minded, or if you've ever listened to Pharrell Williams. So Pharrell Williams says a lot of the time that ideas are things that are floating around in the ether and we can pluck them out of the sky, if you stay open, if you keep like your channel open, your creative channel. So as someone who sort of believes that, but also believes the latter, I do think that beauty doesn't exist in the world if it doesn't leave the studio. That's my answer. You might have an answer as well. And that's totally cool. But my answer is honestly that if it never leaves a hard drive, or if a really great photo shoot never leaves the studio, you were not prepared in the first place to create something and decide if that should be seen by audience, which is totally fine because so many great artists have so many songs that are unreleased because of various reasons. Like it's totally up to you. That's you with like the horse analogy. That's you like being disciplined because being free is like whatever, like just freedom. We were going to bring the last question into this, but like being totally free, you're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like just it's free. But the discipline part is like acknowledging that, oh, this maybe needs to stay in the studio. So although I agree that beauty doesn't exist in the world unless it's released, it needs to be like released in the right way so that people know that it's beautiful. Because you know that it's beautiful if you've created it with the intention to do so. But I have had to realize this the hard way, but people don't always see and rarely see through your eyes. It's impossible. I would almost say never. Actually, I guess I can't think of another time where someone was like, "Oh, nice," just oh, puts my eyes into their eyes, literally plucks mine out. I stand there with gaping holes in my head as they're just looking around like, "This is really great stuff." So, honestly, it could be an interesting idea, but I do think that for beauty to exist in the world, it needs to be cultivated and with the intention to do so. So I'm going to say no to that question. But if you have another answer, that's totally, totally cool. Let's see, what else have we got here? We have a question from the social and existential fabric once again. And then I'm going to see if our guest, our surprise guest, will be joining us. So, well, at least that's what he's told me. And if he doesn't, I'm going to send the show back. I'm going to send the security from the show. We're going to sort them out. You know what I'm saying? The question is, if we knew the exact date of our deaths, would we be more productive? Oh, I think a fly just absolutely just invited itself in. Sorry. Didn't know Milan had such invasive fly species out here. Let's get back to the question. That's a fucking question. You could someone answer me that, okay? What's going on with the bugs in Milan? Huh? I don't have any respect to privacy. What the heck's going on here? I can't leave a window open ajar. If we knew the exact date of our death, would we be more productive, or would the weight of the deadline paralyze us? I think it depends on how you react to adversity. I feel like I know so many people that would leave it till like the night before. Be like, I'm gonna do everything now. Book a flight to Japan. I'm gonna like go to freaking Iowa. I'm gonna do ayahuasca in the Amazon rainforest, and you like cram all of life in like 72 hours, this is the last section of life. You're like minutes away from this like scheduled death, and you die from an overdose. What a way to go! Absolutely, just like spectacular. But if we did know the date of our death, I do feel like people would be more productive. I feel like so many cancer patients have the story about like, I was diagnosed, I was terminally ill, and then I totally reversed my diet, my nutrition, took my health seriously, and started living a healthier life. And now I'm living healthy. My kids are happy, my family's great. I bought a yacht. You know, um, I fucking caught a bluefin tuna. Like I sold it to a Japanese man. Just life is so good now. Like, oh my god. Um, I don't know what else to tell you, but I think that the way that we work in that way is just like it's such a hilariously terrible quality in us. Like, imagine if you were just healthy, and uh, and that was your prerogative, was taking care of your health. And I do know people that just unfortunately, even though they were healthy, things like that just happen. Whatever, you're exposed to chemicals, or like, I don't know, you would like, you ate too many eggs when you were a child, whatever the reason is. um there's things that happen to healthy people, and that's just kind of life in a way. you know but I do think that there are underlying things, whether it's even like stress and things that we don't realize that really affect us. So these are things that kind of can cause certain issues, I guess. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent, but if we did know the exact date of our death, I do think we would be more productive. Okay, I'm on Team Human for that. All right, I don't think the weight of the deadline would paralyze us. I think that you would stand up, put on those boots, sell everything you have, and figure out a damn way to get shit done before you are done. If that makes sense. Let's go with this. What do we got here? Next question is in reality and the unknown. Hope you've kind of been enjoying this as well. I have been enjoying this greatly. I love answering these tough questions, and I think that it's one of life's great mysteries is some of these trivial questions. So we're going to go with this right here. We have, does time actually flow, or is every moment in history existing simultaneously, and are we just moving our spotlight across it? What? I'm going to read that again. Does time actually flow? Okay. I'm imagining the turtles from Nemo, that scene where it's Brock and he's like, yeah, little dude, ride the wave, or something that he says. I don't know what he says, but I'm just questioning how turtles got so high in Nemo. I mean, what the hell are they smoking? Um, does time actually flow, or is every moment in history existing simultaneously? Okay. Every moment in history existing simultaneously is a concept that I don't really totally understand. Is it talking about different timelines, or what's the situation with that? So, and are we just moving our spotlight across it? Right. This kind of confuses me because it's like, does that then mean that we aren't active in the human experience and we're simply reflecting a predisposed um, history? If the future is defined and the past is defined, and the moment is just in accordance with the dynamic between the future paving its way, moving forward, and the past, existing, then then I don't know. I don't know what to say. I honestly, I feel like this question kind of has me stunted, and I don't quite know how to answer that because I feel like there's multiple timelines that could be a thing. There is a timeline where 9/11 never happened and we never killed that gorilla. If you recall those events in history, tragic moments of human history. Rest in peace, Harambe. Um, okay, we're going to move it along because this question was too tough for me. If you can answer it in the comments, please go ahead and answer it. Definitely feel free to do so. This is a good one. We have philosophy and creation identity. Okay, let's go here. Question is going to be down the bottom of the screen. And sorry if it's overlapping there, but I can't move this little sliding bar. So we're just going to run with it. At what point does a design stop being inspired by and start being a copy? Is there such thing as a truly original thought in the 20th century, first century? I feel like that's a bit of a double, because that's a big sandwich that just like turned up here at the restaurant, and I'm like, that's what I ordered. I'm like, damn, chicken and steak. My God. So, at what point does design stop being inspired by and start being a copy? When it begins as something that is not inspired by something that's true, right, to you. I would say it starts being a copy when it's lost or began with no identity, right? Whenever I've felt that I've started copying something in my life, I had no idea what I was identifying with. Not like in a gender sense, okay? Like I never like woken up one day and been like, oh my God, Apache helicopter. It makes so much sense now. It's fucking, I've been flying around the place. They do these fucking helicopter blades. Of course, I got machine guns, a fucking Gauss cannon, and two pilots. Of course, I'm an Apache helicopter. No, but I have felt uninspired and then was inspired by something. But because the derivative was that something that drove me to then create, that thing that I made inevitably became a copy. Okay, it lacked individuality. If we're gonna use that as like on the spectrum of measurement of copy or original, I guess is what you'd say in that. It wasn't original, right? Which is okay as well. Like I feel like if people are getting this twisted and they're like, oh my God, like Zeek doesn't believe in fucking Zeek really thinks he's an Apache helicopter, or like, these are kind of like trivial questions. And so I'm giving a trivial answer because some of them I feel like are more okay. There is some like actual evidence behind like some of the things that I'm saying, and hence why like I feel like I can be confident in providing an answer in such a way. But when it comes to something like this, it's like there's so many good things that exist as like a copy or an homage. Like Tyler the Creator birthed an entire wave of artists who are making similar music to him. And I have an album playlist that's like really similar to that. So, and I do enjoy that music. But you have to know, and I hope the artists know, who was the originator of that, at least for when they talk about it. Because so many artists, I've said so many times, like, oh, where does this idea come from? Someone asks me, and I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't know. It just comes from, it's not, I feel like at some point, it's not good enough to just say you just like thought about it and pulled it from the sky. That kind of sounds mean because I feel like really good artists also do that. And also that's part of being free. But in my opinion, in my mind, okay, in the mind of Zeke, if I pull an idea from the sky, I want to feel like I know why I'm doing it, the direction that it could go, and then also the freedom of that idea to just play, okay? Because not otherwise, it is just boring, okay? It's just like it'd be like a staged show that it'd be like going to watch a play and then watch it again the next week, and then again the next week. Okay, it's like there's nuances you can find and explore there, but it takes a bit more energy, and you might not even want to do that. So that also, we're really digging into this sandwich right here, the chicken and steak sandwich of a question that I've been presented here. But to answer the first part of the question, design stops being inspired by and starts being a copy when it's lost the individuality and the originality of the idea and the concept in the beginning. Okay? You can still copy an idea and turn it original. It doesn't mean it's going to be a copy forever. You might figure out something to change it completely. But if the copying continues throughout the whole life cycle of the idea and then comes out as such, then it's just forever gonna. It would just be a copy. Okay, it would just get lost in time and lost in the things that came out in that way. Now, the second part of the question, to get back on track, is there such a thing as a truly original thought in the 21st century? Yes. I'm going to leave it at that. Next question. How bold, how brash, brave of me to just answer the second part of that question so bluntly and leave everyone like, he just said yes. The next question is, does the name we give ourselves, the brand, sorry, oh my God, I swallowed one of the pilots. I'm an Apache helicopter, remember? Does the name we give ourselves, the brand we project, eventually become more real than the person behind it? Ooh, that's interesting. I feel like Michael Jackson is someone that comes to mind, someone who in my mind was like an individual and so strong as an individual and so like bespoke, but like had this identity that was distinct, and he had an idea, but at the same time also was like the biggest celebrity of all time, like, you know. And real is another thing. I don't think that the Michael Jackson that people saw, like, you know, um, on stage, it was him. It was really him, but it wasn't really him, you know? Because I think if he gave what was really him, fans might not like it so much. And I feel like Michael Jackson was the kind of creative where he'd create a body of work and then create a character around that. So, but aside from the reference, does the name we give ourselves, the brand we project, eventually become more real than the person behind it? I think only if the person behind it gets totally lost and forgets who they are and identifies with this thing that they've created. You know, it's like if I felt like I got totally lost in Zeek the Kid, you know, that I didn't wasn't giving myself time like as I do, like, you know, spending time and just going and working out and like going to the park and like just like staring at ducks all day. If I wasn't doing those things, which is like how I really feel and what really inspires me, then I would also lose inspiration to create maybe what's driving the Zeek the Kid, the brand, right? And I think it's really unhealthy when the two like merge because it's so hard to identify with the brand. It's like if someone says something bad to it, like imagine like they're like, oh, I don't really mess with that Zeke the Kid, like that thing that he put out, like, you know, like it's like, man, that guy's just like, he ain't real, man, you know. And if it's about a certain project that I'm detached from, then it's cool. It's like, okay, that project wasn't a hit, and that's fine. Like, not everyone is meant to like everything. People are allowed to hate as well. That's a really important part of growth. So because of that, I feel like it's important that you distance yourself from a brand in a healthy way because people will inevitably hate, and it will feel less like they're hating on you. Hope that's a cool answer. Hope you kind of resonate with that somehow. Okay, we got another question here. Just got word from security. They've been sent to break Ilya's ankles because he mentioned that he would be joining the podcast today, and we haven't heard from him quite yet. So the question here down the bottom, you can read it if you would like, is if you could live in a digital utopia where every creative vision was realized instantly, would the lack of effort eventually make the results meaningless? Interesting. I've been wondering this one even without like this question. I've been wondering like what happens when we can just think of an idea and then it's like becomes a reality. I think eventually we're going to get bored of the idea because part of creating something, part of create, part of also thinking about something is like and defining something is the process to getting to that. Like it's so much growth that we go through, like getting to that process where you finally have like an end result. And if you lose that and you can just like produce like, you know, like a machine gun, like I think you just end up like Scarface in his final phase. You guys seen that scene? Sitting at the counter, his sister walks in. She's like tremendous in this crazy thing. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. Anyway, and tremendous. She's wearing a crazy dress. That scene is wild, and he's there. He's just like, she's walking in. He's just sitting there, totally out. Also, this is like cocaine we're talking about. But what does cocaine activate? Sitting here waiting for someone to say it in the chat. Dopamine. Cocaine activates your dopamine receptors. Also, a great idea or the feeling of chasing a great idea activates a certain arousal state within you as well. So it's like the two are like a chase um, between cocaine and a good idea. It's like surprisingly enough, if you just do both, you'll be fine. A good idea is just like cocaine. Do more cocaine, but I'm not condoning that. Okay, fucking, we don't have enough power anymore across the globe for everyone to be switching on their microwaves, heating up plates. So, would the lack of effort eventually make the results meaningless? Well, I think the meaning of a certain result, although it's also determined by the process to get there, it's also a bit determined by a viewer and an onlooker. But then the question is, if everybody can design an idea, what makes ideas distinctive, right? It has to be the level of insight. Then I wonder, okay, if you can realize an idea instantly, does that limit your insight in any way? Or are you just accidentally like stuck in a thought thing of like, if you think of something, it appears and it's like a curse. Oh, Ilya's in the stream, bro, with the broken. What's happening, my guy?
What it do?
What it is? Welcome, bro. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. What's happening? What do you?
We we are out here. We've been talking about um life questions,
All
absurd
right.
life's toughest questions is what we've been firing off with. I told the people that were watching that we sent the show's security team to go and break your legs because you were late. So,
Oh
uh,
snap!
but funnily, yeah, literally,
It took me extra longer to limp back.
dude had to crawl back. He's like, ugh, fucking Zeke, fucking
Still made it.
late
Still
for
made
it.
it.
So we I just answered this question, but I'll pitch it to you, and then you can let us know what you kind of think. But
Yeah, for
the
sure, for sure.
the question was, if you could live in a digital utopia where every creative vision was realized instantly, would the lack of effort eventually make the results meaningless?
I think that would be pretty instantly. Not even like it wouldn't even take long.
Mm,
I think the gratification and the reward system would just disappear. It's the same thing like crack. Like it just
uh-huh.
becomes one of those things that the high is so intense at the beginning that sure it's exciting and it's brilliant, but you live a day like that every thought comes to reality instantly. It's so bro, it's madness. It's almost like the Midas touch. Everything you
The
touch becomes
song?
gold to the point where you
Yes,
can't eat nothing. You know what I mean?
true. Everything just turns into like egg dildos.
Pretty much. I mean, if
You're
that's
like
what's on your mind, you know what I mean?
well, imagine that would you just like you're like, yeah, 5-star restaurant, and it's like, no, no, I can't
What was
stop
that? What
thinking.
was that movie with the kids trying to like go to parties and have sex and lose virginity?
Project X.
No, 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 no. And it was that fat kid that was in Wall Street.
Oh,
Um,
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. He was in
Yeah,
that movie when he was a kid. But
yeah, yeah.
anyway, something bad. But uh, oh man, where was I going?
Oh, the Jonah Hill, and he's trying to go to parties and hook up with chicks at parties. But if he can't stop you, then the topic was like, um, it
Damn.
was it was if
I
you
know
keep
there was
thinking
some.
of an idea. If we live in
I
a
know there
digital
was.
utopia.
I know there was something from that thing. But anyway, it's like yeah. if you could just think and you can imagine something, it can instantly, come to reality. It's like, yeah,
Mm.
I think we get played out very quick.
Right. That's pretty much what I answered it with, because I was like, well, if we can just like think of an idea and it appears, then the it ruins like the reason why we chase the idea in the first place, right? Because it's like the feeling of like being on this path that where you're going to produce something. It's like, all the back work is out. So now you just like think of an idea, and then it it becomes like, I guess it loses its meaning to you. I feel like it would.
Yeah, it would have to. It would have to. It's just too easy. You know what I mean? Same way as like, um, usually the rich people would be like, "Oh, money is not everything." It's like, yeah, but as the poor person will say the opposite.
Yeah.
So again, the same thing with creative people and artists. It's like with AI. Now anyone can be that artist, and it's that sort of scenario,
Mm.
which you can already see people getting hated. Like look at Action Bronson getting hated for generating some
Oh, with
AI
his
frog.
album cover.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, it's gonna be my album cover," and I was like, "Oh, you're taking away from artists," and he's like, "What do you mean? I am the artist that every time designs my shit, and this is like
Mm.
Photoshop." So he's not lying, and it's not far from it. But it's like, how many people that have actual integrity or that won't bullshit or lie, whether it's music or
Mm-hmm.
painting or print or any sort of design that then AI can do in seconds or give you that sort of the initial full inspiration or the full idea, and you can literally just copy it.
Mm.
And even though human copying, now again, that's sort of what you go into. It's like it can instantly, just with a few words, same way as a few thoughts, it can become fully visualized.
Yeah, yeah. The copy thing is interesting because the last question was um, like if you copy something, is the idea no longer original? Does it lose like its meaning? And I thought, well, like if you just like copy something and the output is to recreate exactly what you copied, then it's disingenuous. It's not. It lacks originality, and it just fades away into history.
True, true, true. Yeah, correct. Well, that's
Um,
bootlegging. That's but then, but then again, every artist is a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy,
mm,
and
mm,
and there's only very very few artists that will truly create something new and unique,
mm.
and then but then every other artist will copy that. So it's like, for the most part, everything is a copy. But yes, you're right.
Mm.
I think still, when you, even if you as a human copy another person and you're doing
Mhm.
it to sort of learn per se, we all have, like with graffiti, we all have a certain hand style, right? Like,
Yeah.
or when we write, we have a certain way that we write, that you could be identified by your handwriting, and
Mm.
things like that, or by your tag and so forth, even if you change the name. So with that sort of thing, it's like dancing or singing, we have a certain accent or intonation that's humanly, that we, like a little twist that we will always have,
Mm.
like
Mm.
undertone signature. So even if we paint the same painting, looking at the same object, we're still gonna have different ways that we'll express what we feel, at that
Yeah.
moment.
I mean, you might be missing a finger, so it's like you're missing a toe, so you dance different and you write different.
Well, whatever. But if you know how to make that, swag out with it, well, that's
Yeah.
that's your thing.
Yeah.
You might be one of those, fully crippled, dudes with the two cane things and doing some crazy
You
breakdancing.
bust a damn move, you spin on your head,
Yeah,
you
well.
spin on your booty cheeks. It's like it's like
That
reversed
if
instead.
that's all you got, if you got no legs, no arms, you can do that good on you.
Pretty much like a tree stump.
Oh man,
It's tough.
look,
It's hard out here, but
it's it's hot out here with no legs, bro, for real.
you get collected by a beaver and then you become a dam. It's a rough life. Okay, next question is right here. We have if we had just this is some like creative oey flowy shit, but it's if we are here just stardust that became self-aware, is our purpose to understand the universe, or is the universe just using us to look at itself?
Damn.
For
These are some tough ass questions, bro.
real, bro. It's 12:05 p.m. out here, Milan
You
time.
should have told me in advance. I would have went to college for like 6 years before I would have came on the show.
Like, all right, Zeke,
But
I'm ready. Let's go. I got this
no, no. But
question.
for real, it's a weird one. This is just more like a philosophical question, straight up. Because at the end of the day, I mean, everything is through the, you know,
Mm,
the observer's perspective, right?
mm.
So in that sense, everything else doesn't exist, which is the universe, but it
Yeah.
only exists for that one, sort of mind. But then I don't know how much of a hive mind we really truly are, that
Mm,
we could tap into that stuff, and I don't know, the next life or the next dimension that we enter. But
true.
it could be that, but I don't know. I think the universe is what it is, and
Mm,
everyone still has a different experience of it. So I think it's to the individual's perspective. I think because
yeah.
the universe doesn't exist without that one person. You know what I mean? Or it does, but it also doesn't matter if it does, if that mind doesn't
Totally.
exist anymore.
Like it'll just keep going. Um, which is relevant. And I think you're right. Where it's like it depends on the person, like whatever they kind of choose to do to justify their existence, you have to sort of make up your mind to that. But I guess to answer the question, I feel like I feel like our purpose is to understand the universe, but that could almost still be like the universe trying to understand itself. You know, it's like a bit
Well,
of a
that
double
but
ended.
but that goes back to the same thing. It's like, let's say language, right? We have different understanding of language just from a couple hundred years ago. Like English words meant different things, and imagine if the language exists for a million years, how much different it would be to where it started from.
Mm.
And the same thing with that. It's like your understanding of how everything evolves and what everything is it's different from person to person. So I don't know. It's like
But there are
it's
some
all.
facts. Well, Well, I guess even that's hard to say facts, you know. But or like,
No,
could
well,
you say like,
yeah, like, see, if you're talking about science and shit, like, yeah, those certain facts are obviously
mm,
facts, but even that, our knowledge is so minimum that it's like only up to our knowledge that we can explore it, and all the unknown, even though it might be around us, we don't even know how to measure it or how to
mm,
identify it. Like example, our like as a human, what we can hear and see, the wavelengths are very narrow. You know what I mean? From what's really out there.
yeah, like there's a larger spectrum
Yeah,
anyway.
the spectrum is much larger, and what we see is like very narrow. So what we hear, so from that perspective, like, dude, like, shit can just be around us that we don't even know and
Mm,
don't have a way to comprehend it, I guess.
yeah, until you drop a tab of acid, and then all of a sudden,
Oh, damn.
a whole new world. We're not. This show does not condone, nor will you ever be able to find a supply through this show. Okay, everyone, you must find that in your own world, in your own universe. But that's my
Yeah, for
take.
real.
You go out and
Don't do
explore the
drugs.
universe. Yeah, kids, stay away. This is a kid friendly show. Okay, we're talking about Oh, I really put us into a hole there. I really need a big ladder to crawl out of this, bro. Oh god. I'm like Barney the dinosaur when they're like got the camera right on him. And they're like, "Did you do it, Barney?" And he's like, "What was you talking about?" Next
Nah, so
question.
it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, next question.
hit him
Plead the
with a
fifth
hit him
there.
with the Donald Trump. Does a global culture make us more connected, or does it just flatten the unique edges that make different cultures interesting?
um, a bit of both, I guess.
Mm,
Because people still like it. Just depends on how far mixed and into integrated it all becomes. Like,
right.
for
Like if
example, people like, let's say if you're second generation or first generation, like, you might still have your roots, but
mm,
you might also represent the new culture you're embracing, like living in Australia now for me.
Mm,
right? So, but it just depends. But my kids, will they appreciate my culture where I came from? Probably not as much,
mm.
even though it's part of them. And but where they
I
live
guess
and how they progress, it's like, yeah.
it totally depends on that, like how you live and how, like if you were like someone who was like your kids, you got to go to church, like and it's like a Slavic, it's like a Slavic church, a Russian Orthodox church. You'd be like, well, I guess they'd grow up identifying with that culture, so they'd be individualized, hopefully, through the identification of that culture. But if everyone just like, if we become, I guess, where they're talking about global currency, if we just all became one big global culture, what that would look like, I
I
guess we'd
think there's
all.
still be variations, bro. Because think of
Right.
it this way, like the accent, like in different states, you have different accents.
Mm.
Even if everybody spoke English all over the world, people would still have different accents,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there still be certain variations that would be inevitable, and I believe the same thing happens for religion or cultural. And even if everybody has a unification of what everything is, like in some ways, like
Mm.
Korean pop, right? So it's such a
Okay.
copy of what the American pop used to be like.
Uh-huh.
And but to a certain degree they've done it so much better now. And
Yeah.
all the group bands and everything else, like America had never had anything like that, or they can never
Mm.
top that or even go back to that. So
Mm-mm.
in some way even others can adapt, sort of universal pop culture or
Mm-hmm.
stuff and still do it better, which,
Still have an identity.
yeah, have like Korean K-pop as its own thing, in many
Mm.
ways.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like inevitably, like through the uniqueness of just like the humans, through the uniqueness of who we are, like it'd be impossible to not have something that's unique, that makes us sort of different. You don't think
Yeah, that.
America can't go back to a golden pop era?
Nah, no way. No
Yeah,
way.
American pop is definitely dead.
No, I think culturally because it's all like hip hop and stuff, right? So it's
Mm.
more street. And even your typical white suburban person would be like, a thug in the car
Yeah,
playing some
they'd be like, "Yo,
some
that
some
West Side
thugger.
Gun album just dropped," and then they like
Yeah,
sip their
right.
like Slurpee. That
Pretty much.
Yeah, the mom's like, "Jimmy, turn that West Side Gun off right now."
Yeah.
Like, "Shut up, mom."
Hold on, mom. You gotta cook
Shut
another
up.
brick.
I'm
Hold on,
cooking.
mom.
I'm cooking bricks in the air fryer, mom. Okay, Kanye, Conway the Machine told me.
In the
Okay,
back seat.
cook
Right.
it up in the air fryer. That's true though. I kind of. Do you feel like? Do you feel like then it's disingenuous when like you see, like if you saw a bunch of like white kids listening to like Conway the Machine? How fair is it to assume that that's like disingenuous? Because like
No,
you know,
I wouldn't say it's disingenuous in any way.
okay,
It's
right.
I think it's that's where like a lot of misconception comes
Mm,
from. And also, like, oh, you can't enjoy a certain type of music just
mm,
because you're not from that culture, that
mm-hmm.
background, bro. Anyone can.
Yeah,
And that's why it's out, for
true.
anyone to imagine. And like
Yeah.
movies, bro, just because like what, just because a movie has, I don't know, a certain topic of, in it, of some fighters and UFC fighter movie or whatever wrestling movie,
Hmm.
and I've never done either, or that I can't watch it and enjoy it. No, like it's
Yeah.
for me to imagine. And to sort of maybe even put myself in the position of the actor, or see the struggles that, whatever it is that they're usually
Hmm.
portraying, that an average person go through. So it doesn't really matter in the sense of, you know I guess pretending is, look,
Yeah.
the
Like art
code the
doesn't
code
have
the
a this
culture the
hider.
code the culture is what it is. And the
Mm,
fact that, like, it's not pretending, because most of, like, let's say the so-called gangster hip-hop, like most of them weren't gangsters, most of them were just actors with, ghostwriters, and none of that stuff was real. But yet, there's albums of murders, drug deals, and so forth, that, for the most part, we know it's all bullshit. But
mm.
it's like,
Yeah.
if they're allowed to portray it that way as an imagination, well, I'm allowed to listen to their music and imagine that, I'm part of that world.
yeah, that you still identify with that freely and like can express within that. Like I guess there's with art there is no like this high to ride the ride, right? It's like it's really is like free to everybody, you know? Like no, it's like
Yeah,
a
well, I believe so. I believe so.
mm, interesting. I just feel like the one thing is like if this like I don't know, this could just be me getting old, bro, but if there's so like with some of the West Side songs, there's so many N bombs. And I'm like, if I see a bunch of white kids, okay, I accept that they identify or like whatever, if they identify with it, if it resonates with them, but I can't help but feel that like if they're playing it on a public speaker, I'm like, you're a bunch of white kids, you're listening to this, and I don't know what I'd describe it as, but it just feels weird. Like I wouldn't say it's like,
But bro, let's be real about one
mm-hmm,
thing. The definition of the word and how it gets used got changed completely. And
mm,
to the point, doesn't matter what race you are.
mm-hmm,
Everybody knows it, and like you got to be like almost retarded from both sides to say that, oh, it's like 90% of the people that use it in today's sort of thing, it's not in a racist way at all.
yeah,
You know,
I using it as like a
it's
yeah
not
in
in the
that
like
derogatory
they
way.
yeah, it's not a derogatory bro, just because they're using the word they used to mean something, and then the fact that the African Americans were using it like left, right, center as if it's just a friend, a buddy, or
Straight
enemy,
up,
or like the word fuck that has a
like a ham
thousand meanings
sandwich,
depending on
bro.
how you use it. Pretty much, bro. Like literally whatever you want, and sure, out of respect, people wouldn't say it, but then if it flies both ways in any way, like, and if it's songs that they want us to sing and and sort of relate to, like, why use that then? They're not using it in that way, and neither anyone that sort of sings them or raps them or whatever. Like, it's not
Mm,
and if they do, I doubt like if someone was racist, I doubt they'll be listening to their music to begin with. It's almost
yeah,
like backwards thinking, from both sides.
it's true.
That it's like and
To,
also it becomes like, oh, only we can say something that no one else can say.
right,
Also becomes like it secludes
like
you secluding
gatekeeping a
yourself
word.
from, yeah. And
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, like, sure. But anyway, it's like, I
it's
don't know.
like the
I
one
just
word
find
that
it silly.
it is.
I
It's
grew up with this. I grew up with this. You know what I mean? And like for me
mm,
personally, I have very different perspective than most people around me in Sydney. So
yeah.
for me, it's like a whole nother story.
Well, you grew
And
up where the culture was from,
well, yeah,
like
exactly. And the thing is, like, even though I had a past, even though for me it was an issue, and
mhm,
still I don't see an issue with people saying it doesn't matter the race, because Mexicans were saying it, Palestinians would say it,
mm,
Arabs would say it. Like, there's so many people that I knew that would say it, and it was not an issue to anyone.
mm,
And it's like when you think about it, just like culturally, it has changed to what it means, and the
mm,
fact that everyone still says it behind, you know, people's back that mind it, it's like it just shows you how silly it is, because there's no harm meant behind it, but if it's still looked at negatively, well, it's gonna be still gonna
yeah.
carry some of that with it, regardless. Like, it's
That's
almost
a
like you're
hard
not
topic.
letting it. Yeah. So, and it's not for me to speak on. So yeah, I don't
I feel
think
like
that's
it's hard because we're like it's like two white guys discuss the political
yeah, no, for real,
the
but
ideas of the like defined racial uh slur, I guess. And it's like
it's not
if we had
racial.
one,
But
well,
it's not
whatever the case,
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, yeah, it's not
it's
the racial part
assumed
of it.
it's accepted by the wide majority as something that's like a slur. I feel like for the few that understand, like the that see through the veils, we know it in that way. But I'm like, there is still like one black guy to jump in the show now, and he would just call us out on
A
it, and
hundred
it'd be like,
percent, hundred
what do we
percent.
say after that? And it'd be like,
Hundred
okay,
percent. They'd
like
be right, and they'd be
hurt,
right, because that's the
yeah,
thing, and but that's why it's just my opinion. And at
mm,
the end of the day, what I think and what I say doesn't
mm-hmm,
matter. But I just find it funny that
mm-hmm.
it's yeah,
That it's used in that way.
it's almost like silly to say that it's used in a racial way at the moment. For the
Mm-hmm.
majority of the part,
It's
and when
in
using the hard,
part in that way.
Usually, even the Mexicans will, throw a hard R when they turn into a racial thing. So it's like, you know what I mean. It's
Yeah,
no doubt. There's different words.
it's very like context dependent. I
Yeah,
feel like in
exactly,
that way.
exactly. Yeah.
But when I mean, we're not writing a book here, so whoever's taking notes out there, that's up to you. You've taken that. Fucking, you've decided to do that. We'll jump to this question: is the pursuit of less is more an attempt to find the truth, or just a way to hide from the meaning, the messiness of being human?
The less is more. Um,
Is an attempt to find the truth, or just a way to hide from the messiness of being human? I feel like it's kind of subjective, but what do you think?
yeah, it's very, yeah. If that's what I mean. I feel like it is.
Mm,
It's also again like your point of view at it. Like
mm,
sometimes the journey is more important than destination. Sometimes destination is more important than a journey, and this is like
mm.
similar. Where not sure which one is more important sometimes, but they have their roles, and yeah, it's a
Yeah,
combination.
I suppose it depends, like in terms of which one, what would you live by? And I don't think you could live by like a less is more because sometimes it's like situation dependent. Like sometimes you got to eat all the cookies from the cookie jar. Metaphorically speaking, it's just kind of like depends on where you're at. Depends on where you're at. You might not get no more cookies anymore for like you might not know when you're going
Your
to see your
last
next
meal,
cookie. Yeah, for real. You're like, I don't know when these cookies are coming around
the
again. I'm going
last
to take them
supper.
all. So like less is more in that case. I feel like it depends then on like your discipline and if even yeah you might still just like take one cookie and then that's you, I guess, like if that really is that way. But in art, I do feel though that like the approach to less is more, it proves like more effective than something that's a complete mess, at least in reflection of like that in my mind. But that's like, again, that's my take on that. So
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, I feel like it also depends on what you are trying to achieve, right? Because if
mm,
you're doing a collage, well, less can be more. Because like if you put just two pieces, well, it's not really a collage, right?
yeah, yeah.
You're gonna need a lot of things. So it just defining, yeah, the way you're trying to get to defines what the process is gonna be.
Yeah, that's true because in the nature of what a collage is, it's like, well, there's certain rules that you would apply if you have like a deep understanding of, if collage is like a file cabinet in your brain, and the more files you have filled in the collage cabinet, the better you understand that abstract concept. So then you can be like, oh, okay, this is how I collage, you know. Be like the same goes with like other principles, at least in life at the moment. It's like you have file cabinets, and the more research you do, the more files you can put into the cabinet. And then, I don't know if it ever maxes out. Like it just fucking infinite, like pulls out. But inevitably, I feel like the more files you have in that cabinet, then you're like you can pull from information that is of like, hopefully if it's better, if it's good quality, you can pull from that, and then that can inform what you're doing.
What
So
if those? Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it.
we have, let's hit with this one, and then we can just like kind of freestyle after this. I'll this is it better to be part, or is it better to be a small part of something great, or the absolute center of something mediocre?
Again, that's like preferential. Like
Mm.
you might be. Yeah. Again, it just depends. Depends.
Yeah, I think it does depend on who you are as a person, but I feel like mediocrity is generally like associated with something that's like kind of shallow. Um, and in my opinion, it's like, yeah, it does depend on what it is because I'm always referencing art, but like something like a peanut butter jelly sandwich. It's like, dude, that's like beautifully mediocre. You know, I feel like
Yeah.
it's like,
But if you go to 5-star Michelin restaurant, you know what I mean. That shit's gonna be
oh,
like.
they're gonna mess it up. They're gonna do something crazy.
something insane. So again, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But in terms of this, I guess like if it's better to be a small part of something great or absolute center of something mediocre, I mean, if your goal in life is to discover something, about yourself and about what you work on, then you'll never find that producing things that are mediocre. Like, I just think that if that's truly like the continuum of that you work towards, instead of being great, if you're just like happy with mediocre, then it's like going to be a question of, well, you're
no. What look that also comes down to okay. Whatever we
mm,
do in life, number one, we
mm,
should try to do our best, right?
mm, mm,
But not every day your best is going to be the best, right?
mm,
So some days it's okay to be mediocre, and that's your best for the day.
mm, mm.
So you hear what I mean? And some
Right.
days your mediocre is literally the shit.
Mm. If
So
that is your best, your absolute best, then would you say that then it's not, then it can't even be mediocre? Because like, would you then say that like mediocre you could only apply in hindsight? Because like you just said, if it's your best and it's mediocre, that's
no, but
okay.
I'm saying regardless of what you do, you should always try to do your best, right?
Mm, mm,
But for the day, your mediocre, like your average work, is the
mm.
best you can do for the day.
Right.
Well, that is your best output, and it's still
Mm-hmm.
mediocre,
Yep. Yep.
right? And
Okay.
then what was your best today?
Mm.
uh, is tomorrow's again like your average
Yeah.
work. So
Like you might have, I don't know what, like various things
I
cause
mean, I
you to
mean,
be
you
maybe more
definitely
mediocre.
like definitely wouldn't get on the court to play competitive basketball and be like, oh, I'm just here for an exhibition. Like if
Mhm.
you there for an exhibition, well, don't play competitive.
Mm.
Same way if you like, um, I mean,
Yeah, in any competitive.
art really it's like it's something that works with your imagination, right? So
Mm.
sometimes you might feel more creative than others. You might feel more inspired, or you might be whatever the case is. You just ready to go, and you might create something that even surprises you.
Mm. Mm.
And and some days you'll be sitting there for hours and just doodle sticks, like stick
Mm.
figures.
I do
So
feel that like, yeah, that's true. I draw a lot of stick figures, but I'll stick. You have no idea. The wall right here is full of stick figures, bro. Every fucking time I have an idea, I draw a stick
I'm
figure.
sticking the sticky notes all over the wall with sticky figures.
Oh no, I had to give up the sticky note walls. The cleaners come in here, they think that I'm crazy. I'm like I'm having like sticky note seances in this in this room.
It's all right.
So
For real estate comes to inspection, just be like, "Oh, my friends played a prank." Like, who in their real, in their real mind will put that many like sticky notes everywhere?
you're right. You're right. That'll get them with the writing on there as well. It's so elaborate. Has all this like fucking crazy shit. They're like, oh yeah, I know that prank. Classic Italian prank. Happens all the time. Um,
Yeah, they're
damn,
like we've
bro.
seen it before in mental asylum, right? In the padded rooms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to get that aesthetic going in here. Just like put some padding on the rooms, and I can jump around and really shake. I'm inventing like a new therapy. It's like shake therapy. You put yourself in a straight jacket into a padded room by choice, it's consensual, and you jump around and you shake the thoughts out of you. Bro, some CIA guy is just like there. He's like, yes.
He's like, how does he know about MK Ultra like that?
He's like, they got us. They got us. Lock that shit down. I'm gonna start to get followed, looking behind my back in the streets of Milan now. I think that like what I just thought about before with the filing cabinet idea was kind of something that is interesting to think about. Like if you're if you have something that you do routinely enough that you respect it and you want to build your knowledge, you create like a cabinet in your mind where you can then put information into. So like you build up like your your fucking files, And then the stronger that is, the better you can maintain greatness, and you can avoid, if you want to, like, or at least you can see and define more the line between mediocrity and what is great, because you're backing yourself with all this. And at the end of the day, I guess you can't stop someone from saying like that's mediocre, right? I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
is the ultimate thing. Like, so you could make
Well, look,
something amazing. And
there's universal understanding of like what's beautiful, and then there's also or
mm,
what's considered top notch work or individual best. You know, so
mm,
there's different standards and different levels of it.
yeah, yeah, that's true. And like sometimes I feel like can be like frustrating, but it's also like hilarious because freedom of speech like that.
Mm.
You know, I feel like it's just something that's it's like I've been listening to some of the latest stand up comedians, and stand up comedians are funny because I feel like they can say, I'm like, it's so they can say almost anything, and it's like it's expected of them in a way, you know. And yet every now and then, like Dave Chappelle will get cancelled. Yes, okay, he says something against, you know, the T's, and it blows up in his face, but he overcomes it. And I feel like this is the funny thing with, you know, when I've been thinking like stand up comics, it's like it's just it's just exists as a bit. Like they could almost admit, like Joey Diaz has admitted to like how many stories of doing cocaine and like robbing people and like committing, you know, fraudulent acts. And it's just like it happens under this like, oh, it's like part of the show.
Yeah, well, they have to be able to speak, right? They have to,
Yeah.
otherwise it becomes limited speech.
Right. No, you're right. Because otherwise, I mean, in a world which I feel like exists where people are like, oh my God, how could you say that? Like, oh my God, like you stole how many cookies? Oh my God. And
And that's why the cancel culture is also like so silly to have for comedians, because comedians will rip it apart, number one. And
mm,
number two, for them not to be able to say some things, well, then they're not being true to their craft, you know, because
yeah.
their job is to make people feel a bit uncomfortable at times, because that's what's, you know, some of the shit that we might not say or address or talk about, but in the comedy club we can hear it and we can accept it, you know.
True. The comedy club is like Patrick Starr's rock house in SpongeBob SquarePants. Like this little dome, it opens up, lets you in, and closes behind you. And then once you're in, you're in. It's like you're in
That's
this
it.
fucking
You
this
locked
zone.
it.
I wish Australia had more of like a comedy scene, like how America does. Like in Austin, Texas, right now, it's like blowing up. You know, there's so many great comics like Adam Ray. If you've ever heard of Adam Ray,
No, no, I
um,
haven't been watching much comedy lately, but
oh,
yeah.
true. My man's been listening to
And
Romantics.
man,
What
yeah.
have you been watching? You've been watching cult classic noir French film, huh?
Yeah, no, no. No.
The Island of Caligaris, huh? Some crazy
No,
French translation.
just Caligula on replay.
What is Caligula, bro?
Google
No,
it.
just the screen share.
uh,
Everybody that watches this, go ahead and Google Caligula. How
yeah,
do you even spell that?
I don't think you want to actually. Don't Google
We're
it.
going into it right now. We're
Uh,
loading in the CALIGULA
yeah,
and
so don't ask me how to spell. Just type it in
okay.
Google as close as you can, and something will come up.
I'm seeing like just sculptures of this Roman emperor.
Yeah, well, that's
Oh, that's what you've been watching, like actually.
no.
Oh.
I was just joking. I was just joking,
Oh,
but
like out of all things, man's researching ancient Roman history. Right, sorry. My
no,
fucking.
no, that's not. That's no. Like, find the movie before you say history.
Oh,
It's like
true.
Roman. It's like them having orgies and shit, and then getting their freak on.
Oh. Oh, dude, it's only rated PG.
No way.
Just imagine that. This, I'm pretty
But
sure this is like what Italians are raised on. Like the teacher wheels in year seven the TV, and they're like, "Okay, class, so today we're going to watch
sex
ancient."
education class.
Someone replaced the disc in there. It's actually like ancient Italian history is the case, and inside is Caligula. The teacher's just like, "Okay," puts it on, and he goes out to smoke, and the kids are like, they're like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" The Greeks were fucked up. Yeah, the Greeks are
No,
pretty fucked up.
that is a weird thing. Yeah,
Yeah, but that's just history. What can we say, bro? Cancel culture can't touch that. What
but
you
there
gonna
you
do
go.
about it?
But there you go. There's another thing, like right concept of how like so many things that were considered normal are
Mm,
not normal now, and how things in 20 years will not even feel what's normal now won't even feel normal then. And so just as society, we constantly sort of evolve and grow. Well, we move it in one direction or another. Evolve or
mm.
devolve. But
Whatever you want to call it as, but assimilation with the machines, whatever it is, we are
yeah,
constantly
yeah.
moving in a direction. Yeah, I do
Well,
feel.
well, well, well looking for example, like if during the Renaissance era, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
if Basquiat was painting what he was painting, nobody would care about Basquiat. You know what I mean? Because they wanted more realistic and more like detailed than high definition shit. Shit that would take like 5 years to paint one portrait of someone. And so the shit that Basquiat did, they would be like, "Oh, a kid can do that."
Mm,
So you know what I mean. To them, they wouldn't even consider that as high end art or valued art at the time.
mm,
So as times move again, like our perception of art and what we find in the styles and
mm.
what
What
we know
you say
now and what
though,
we
when you said like certain art, like some art just has the elements that define it as good art. It's funny how like although I think and I believe that, but some of Basquiat's work I feel like is timeless because everything's just in the right place. Like it's just hitting the right marks, like the right chords for almost anyone to be captivated by it. You know?
Yeah, but I feel like if that was like a couple hundred years ago, they would
Mm.
have just been like, oh, somebody's sketches in a notebook. It's
Yeah,
not something that should be on canvas. You just wasted a canvas for this. Like, you
yeah.
know what I mean?
I mean, back then
Like,
the standard was like highly,
yeah,
highly detailed.
exactly. Like if again, if someone during Beethoven times
Mm.
made like uh some Gucci Mane song,
Mm.
like that that shit
Look
would
at
not
this
sit right
hit.
with them. Yeah, they'd be like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what is this? What's this
he,
noise?
he writes the fucking little fucking little Beethoven. He's got the little Beethoven symphony.
Yeah.
This is me,
Well,
little Beethoven. I don't know why Beethoven turned German, but I don't know how that crazy man spoke.
no, but you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
in the future, we can admire past
Mm.
different types of arts, but in the moment, we can only sort of admire what's popping. What's recognized for
Yeah. The time and
for
place. I guess art
yeah,
is like
yeah.
art is the defining moment of the time and the place. And although it can draw from history, but still I feel like it's produced now. You know, it's like even if it's referencing like old jazz, it's like what if what if you wrote an album and used like all the methods that they used back in the day to make an old jazz album and recreated it in today's age? Are you bringing that from history forward, or is it something that's original?
No, I feel like in jazz, like it's also just like if you actually know jazz, I'm pretty sure it's timeless, and
Mm,
the classics that were made, in the beginning will be classics forever.
mm, mm,
Same thing as with classical music. Like that's why
mm,
OG pieces can still be, played by, very well accomplished musicians,
mm.
players of certain instruments, and they will still play OG songs than something that was written now for the most part, if that sort of makes sense. So
Yeah,
some
like
things
they're
can say,
revered.
Yeah, well, some things will stay classic in certain pockets,
Mm.
of art form.
I was like, can we? How often do you feel like we're making like other classics, or is it just that like everyone can make art now, or like so many more people can make art because of just like the tools that exist? So there's so much more art. Is there more like classic stuff coming out um, amongst the mess? You know what I mean? Like, has the
I
ratio
think I
changed?
think the needle keep bouncing back and forth until it sort of finds its perfect combination, and then it sort of lands on that,
Mm, mm,
perfect combination between the new and the familiar.
mm, mm.
So that it still feels fresh, but it still feels,
Yeah.
as if you heard it already, or
Mm-hmm.
easy to sort of adapt to. Like, for example, think of like all this new hip hop stuff that's coming. I don't even know if you call it hip hop nowadays. Like all this like
Yeah.
sort of like screaming and like glitchy sounds that it's like, overly auto tuned stuff, and
Yeah.
fuck all lyrics, like no,
Yeah.
or if there's, obviously there's lyrics, but it's just like random words, or
Yeah.
just like a few punchlines, but nothing, not
Yeah.
much context, or not much to them
Yeah.
really.
It might
And
just be
so, but
chorus. Like,
but right now they're like, that's what kids listen to, and to me that
mm,
feels like it's noise. You know what I mean?
mm, mm,
And even though that's the evolution of hip hop, it doesn't even feel like hip hop.
mm, mm.
Because it sort of went so far out, that it just like this whole new genre that it's almost like, yeah, almost not even relating to hip hop.
Yeah, like the pendulum has swung so far out because like the momentum just like pushed that shit, and everyone was like, yeah, 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 just. And you got Paris, Texas, like you heard him.
No, don't even know.
Paris, Texas is like Frank Ocean on fentanyl. It's like that's how I could describe it. Paris, Texas is Frank Ocean on fentanyl, and I actually I have some of his stuff saved in playlists because I'm like, it's got some cool like progression, but totally agree where it's just like it really is like not hip hop because it's almost grunge like Linkin Park, you know, and then like where we saw like Linkin Park had that sort of like hip hop edge, but it was innately like kind of coming from the
It's still
rock
like new
grunge.
metal or whatever,
Yeah, new
whatever it's
metal.
called. Like, yeah.
New metal. Yeah, so we have this like weird genres like emerging now. I feel like, but yeah,
But
I
but I
don't
also
know.
feel like the genres that are popping off now, it's almost like dubstep, or
Mm.
or or trap. Like, but
Oh
the
yeah.
trap that came out, like, like say that New York trap or English trap, it
Mm.
just like it existed for like few years, 5 years, whatever it was, and that's it. Like, it's
Mm.
not really popping off anymore the way it was.
Mm. Mm.
Because the beats are the same. Like, I mean, very similar, I should say. That it's almost,
Yeah.
it almost feels like every song is the same, and it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's a formula
it
now
it, it got
that's.
it kind of got played out too quick,
Mm.
that didn't have room to evolve. It didn't have enough sort of play, and
Mm.
yeah, it just yeah,
I guess it was
came
underground.
and went, came and went for me.
Yeah. It was like underground and then Skepta brought it across the seas, like that man like traveled, on his boat. Brought it to the States, I feel like, and then once like bigger productions started happening, the sound became like gentrified. And it's like all of a sudden now it's like, you got big kind of titled artists with a lot of big production dropping like albums. And I mean, I feel like that scene was always built off like singles and like small EPs anyway.
Mm.
So now they're dropping like a full collection of an album, and it's this whole thing, and it sounds so similar throughout it. You're like, oh my god, bro, what is he talking about? Chicken and rice through the whole album, the whole thing, really?
For
Like, damn, bro, it can't be that
real,
good.
for real.
Can't be that good over there. So yeah, it's weird. It's definitely art is like in a weird place, and then that's why I've been looking at like it's like stand up comics because I'm like I love how they can just like riff and uh and even like in terms of like with this show, it's like we started with questions and then we kind of just like took off on tangents and and that's part of the fun, you know, and discussing things that are a bit like make people go like, oh, I don't know if they can say that, like, you know, because that kind of shit starts conversation. Otherwise, we do become just this globalized fucking thing where everyone agrees on everything, and it's like, what happens then? It's just like human centipede.
Well, pretty much. But
Well,
also we need different opinions to challenge us. You know, we need competition to challenge us. We need, people doing different shit to inspire us, to challenge us again to do better, or
mm,
different, or whatever the case is. But yeah, we need that. I think it's
mm,
just in the human nature that it must exist. Like,
mm,
there's no one's gonna be doing the same shit thing, like, identically the same, regardless. And
yeah,
with the amount of people we have, with, it's like the Chinese whispers. Once it goes through a few people, it just changes the meaning, definition, and the
yeah.
output becomes completely different than
True.
what
It's
the
got
input is.
3 eyes, 6 legs, a horsetail. It's like what happened to the idea? Yeah, but it's kind of like beautiful in a way. It's like fetish. So it's funny, man, because like I think that it's kind of also in a bad way, like affecting like relationships, because I feel like here I don't know if it's just an Italian thing, but which I have been told like Italians are particular about the way they like do get into relationships because religion is such like a big thing here. Like they're like, you know, Catholicism is apparently just
Mm.
like it kind of changes the dynamic between like relationships here. So it's weird. It's weird like to navigate the party scene here compared to Australia, which is like, I mean, there's people out, you know, agnostics. You got agnostics, atheists, not
Do you gotta go to
more
parties
gnostics.
dressed as Pope?
So you got to go dressed as Pope John Paul, bro. That's how you pick up. That's how you pick up bitches here. I gotta put on the whole thing: the robe, the hat, the staff. I even got a little prop meteorite. You know the story of that guy.
No, no.
You know, apparently, I don't know which pope it was. A pope got struck by a real meteorite. This is apparently something that happened. Pope John Paul II, the head of the Catholic Church. Um, what have we got here? Third serving. It's almost like ironic that a pope gets struck down by a
Jesus struck him down with some. God struck him down with some ideas.
oh, like, yeah, what? Like,
You're the chosen one.
crazy. You are the chosen one, struck by a freaking asteroid. Where is it here? This not a symbolism. Okay, no, wait. Maybe this is just a sculpture, and I've totally been fucking. I've been swindled. I've been swindled by art because this one artist created a sculpture of Pope John Paul, and it's like him lying on the ground, holding his staff, and there's a meteorite just like crushing his body, and it's like fucking. It's like it fully had me wondering, like, so you're telling me an Italian Pope? Oh, maybe that's just
Was
my
he was he
own.
not praying hard enough, or was he praying too hard?
That's what happens when you pray hard. When you pray real hard. Get struck by an asteroid from the sky. Jesus, is like, how dare you? Sends an
And
asteroid,
then got
fucking
and
fucks
then
you
got
up.
stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, 100%. That's true. The hard place being Earth, I guess. But I was gonna say, like, how do you feel it is like walking around seeing like couples? Do you notice many like Australian couples and like what it's like and what it looks like now, or
No, no. To be honest, I don't pay attention to that at the
right?
moment.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
only because I just feel like that's yeah something that like I don't know. Just I've been having conversations with friends and that, and it's just weird here.
I was having a conversation with Elda,
Oh yeah,
and he mentioned how Australia, like they did an episode on their podcast where they were talking about divorce and stuff,
yeah.
and Australia was like, produced some high numbers that tuned into that.
Oh
he's
my
like, he's like,
god,
why is that? I'm like, Don't ask me, bro. I didn't listen to it yet.
shit. Oh my god. Well, it's probably true, I guess. And shout out to Dennis Rock's podcast for anyone that's tuning in. You can go and check him out.
Yeah,
But
for real.
Eldar, Mike, and Harris. I haven't heard Harris in a while. I don't know if he's still around or what he's in the rafters and sleeping in the rafters or what the go is there.
Yeah, I don't
But
know. I don't
shout
know.
out, shout out to Harris.
Harris for president.
Harris for president, still Harris for president. I still stand by that for real. I got my men on standby, ready to vote. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting, Eldar. You gotta get in on that. I'm waiting to push the button on that. Um, but
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah, I guess I know that globally, I feel like apparently the stats say the rates of divorce are going up. Um, I wonder what else like correlates with that. Like if it's like increased in people becoming less religious causes that, or because like,
No, no, it's also just like more having the option.
mm,
Back in the day, the option did not exist.
you mean the options of more genders?
No, 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 no. Well, that as well. That as well.
You're like, you know what
And
I'm missing in my life? An Apache helicopter. Let me get some of that.
no, but for real, like back in the day, like even if shit wasn't working out and you were
Mm,
getting abused, whichever way it goes, no, like couples just didn't leave. Like it just
right.
was unheard of. So like it just something that was not part of the society.
Mm,
Now it's become very acceptable and very normal,
mm,
and therefore it just happens more often because now it's like, oh, we got a hard situation ahead of us. Oh, I'm not gonna deal with that. See you later.
yeah.
Whereas back in the day, it's like, all right, like we got a hard shit happening. Buckle up, let's go.
Yeah.
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 So the difference is very major in that perspective.
Like the cultural norm, I guess, shifts in such a big way now, where it's like that.
Yeah.
It's like
And, and
almost,
and also and also we're like literally right now we're in like the last 10 years we've been in like a hookup culture. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
After
so
COVID.
yeah, it's well even before, way before
Oh
that.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like yeah,
What
it's just
started the hookup culture, dude? It
like
was
Tinder
Justin
and
Bieber,
shit.
wasn't it? Oh,
No, like Tinder and shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It definitely did. That's when the swipes really started changing their meaning. That's when
Yeah.
swipe. That's when swiping meant more. When Tinder fucking dropped. I remember using Tinder, but I'm not proud of it. I paid. I paid for Tinder Premium. I did that shit so I could dominate the town. Next thing I knew, it was just every male had Tinder Premium anyway, so it was fucking pointless. Such a fucking crazy scam, bro. Imagine swiping, imagine literally like swiping your life away to find like a hookup.
Well,
Genius.
a lot of them also became just bots, so it was all manipulated numbers and stuff, and
Yeah, that's
chats,
true.
and it wasn't even real people. And it's like, oh, you wanna continue this conversation? Sign up for Premium Plus.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Far out. Yeah, they did start fucking monetizing everything. I feel like we find a way to monetize everything, bro. Like humans are so like I mean, I don't know. If you ever seen a monkey like be greedy about fruit, it's like there's only like three. They can only protect three. Okay, they're gonna lose some, but like humans figure out a way to like protect everything. Like they're like we put up like fucking fortresses, build fucking like plantier drones and shit to protect our fruits and make sure that not one single person, even like our distant family, can like get to what we have. It's like I feel like humans have this weird thing where we make that kingdom, you know, um, and then that's sort of like when I mean we monetize shit at a crazy rate. It's because of that.
Yeah, look, to a certain degree, I agree with monetizing, but like to what
Mm,
to how far do you go with it? You know,
yeah, yeah. Like how you
it's
you can't monetize water, which you've already done. That's been done, right?
airs next.
Yeah. Oh God, I keep hearing these like propaganda rumors about China. Like whether it's real or not, I have no idea. But I saw like a video the other week of like a bunch of Chinese people apparently rendered homeless because the social check system has
Social
removed.
credit.
Yeah, the social credit system has deemed them as like just about better than a carrot. So it's like you hold up a carrot next to who's got a higher fucking social credit score on the screen than you. Fuck.
No,
So it's
I could
like,
see. Yeah, look, that's possible to happen, but
mm.
yeah, so some might actually deserve it. Who knows?
I guess so, but I'm still like, dude. Back in the day, it's like, I mean, yeah. Anyway, we know how. Well, you more than me, because like I still grew up around. There was a camera sort of on the corner, you know. It wasn't defined. Okay, you weren't sure if it was even fucking functioning or not. But now it's like fully like it zooms in on you and shit. You like look up at it and it's like zzz. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, it's cooked nowadays. It's
Yeah,
cooked.
it's crazy. I don't know what it's like there in Australia because I guess, well, if it's changed, since
No, no, it hasn't
last
changed much
October.
since.
Okay,
No, it
okay,
hasn't changed much. But it's like even then, all the things were already in place. So
right, yeah, because like it's still pretty
like
primitive.
even on the road, you're driving on the road and it's taking pictures of you, your license plate, and it's sort of
Mm,
categorized. And then you go to the next checkpoint, it takes another picture and sees how long and it
yeah,
took you to drive there, and if you're still driving, and where you're moving to, and
hmm
also makes predictions to where you're heading, and so forth, so forth. So
it's
it's crazy.
crazy, bro. It is super crazy. I
You go to
wonder, like,
Bunnings. You go to Bunnings. Like they'll take the all your facial recognition software and is in play.
well, they can't have another Ted Bundy on the loose out here buying out all the saws from Bunnings. Like, fuck,
Yeah.
what are you doing with all these saws, buddy? Huh?
Mhm.
And deforestation. So, I mean, look, if it stops psychopaths from getting out, okay, fair enough. But then it's like, where do you draw the line between like, I'm just here to get like a Bunnings snag, like a sausage sandwich. Oh, this was a question. You're closer than me to be able to define this because you grew up on those hard New York street meat streets. Um, is a sausage sandwich like a hot dog? Is that is what's the difference between a hot dog and a taco?
What? Are you serious?
That was one of the questions. Like, what's other than like, okay, I thought it was
Bro, what do
pretty
you mean?
obvious.
A hot dog has a sausage and is like a long bun, and
Yeah,
a taco. It's like, bro, you got ground beef and it's
yeah,
like Mexican
beans,
and yeah,
and
and
then
like whatever might go in there. But you could have a hard shell, a soft shell.
yeah, yeah, but you ain't gonna have like a hard shell hot dog unless it's stale bread.
No, no, that's no.
You can't even when it just cracks in half. It's like a cracker.
Bro just created and you stand hot hot, hot dog tacos.
Hot dog tacos. Oh, what that shit would blow up. Well, because you have loaded hot dogs where they're like, they put.
Sign off on that note.
That's it. We'll leave you with that, everybody. Thanks for
You
watching the
go
episode.
copy a hard shell tacos with a hot dog stuffing.
And then make your tacos, yeah, with hot dog buns. Do a complete switch.
Yeah, for real,
Damn,
bro.
that's definitely
Uh,
you would definitely make some
I
people.
actually used to have that in junior high school. They used to call them sloppy joes.
Oh
They
yeah,
wouldn't
that's a
have burger buns, so they would just use the hot dog buns and put ground
mince.
beef with the sauce in there, and that
Yeah,
was it.
that's pretty good though. I feel like that's like a chopped cheese. You know those chopped cheeses?
It's not chopped cheese, but it's like imagine bolognese, like
Oh yeah,
meat in a bun.
yeah,
Basically,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
it is.
A sloppy Joe. Sloppy
Yeah.
Joe is like so
Yeah.
American, bro. We just like I feel like sloppy Joe. How did sloppy Joe come to represent a sweater and the most unhealthy camp style meal you could ever have?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Motherfuckers like,
Some
oh,
dumb
that's a
American shit.
yeah, yeah. The dude's on at the camp and he's wearing like a sweater, and then he gets a sloppy Joe and gets it to the table, and then his name just so happened to be Joe, and then he drops the sloppy. Maybe it was just called sloppy. The actual like, yeah, give the kid some sloppy, and it's just like a bun. The kid gets, yeah,
No,
can I get some of that sloppy? And his name's Joe. And then he drops it on himself, and everyone laughs. And the guy, and then like fucking Clive next to him's like, yeah, good one, sloppy Joe. And then that's
bro, no joke. My junior high school, we had to wear white T-shirts as our
yeah,
uniform, right? So white top, black bottom. So when we had those sandwiches, like half of school was walking around with like stains on their shirts. Like
that's a school wide epidemic. What the fuck? Damn.
it was a messy situation for real.
That's wild. Just everyone walking around with mince stains on their shirts and shit. Oh my god. You can't tell if they're doing something like crazy in the toilets or not, or if it's
Yeah, some
fluffy germ.
dookie bombs going off in there.
Yeah, yeah. What's like the worst? What's the most messed up prank that ever happened? If you remember in school, was there like some fucked up prank? Like, did anyone like I don't know, like throw wet toilet paper at a teacher's face in class, or
um, Usually it was like when it'd be senior prank, and the
oh yeah,
worst ones had to do with like shit. Like
oh
motherfuckers
no,
would always do something with shit. Like
yeah,
I don't know, what they'll put it on the door handles, or like a shit in the staircase and like cover with like a piece of paper, and then but
oh,
then you got like 100 motherfuckers running through the staircase. Well, it's 5,000 kids in high school running through the staircases
mm,
to get from four to four in between classes.
mm,
So
mm,
as you can imagine, like when one person after the next, nobody even realizes,
mm.
and everyone just ends up stepping in and just like spreads everywhere through the school.
Or it's like,
It's
what do
just,
you when you do step on it?
it's fucking it's disgusting.
That's a mess. What's
It's
with
fucked,
like, dude? We just resort to like primal instincts, like monkeys throwing
right?
shit. It's just like dudes will resort to that. I feel like, yeah, that's crazy. We definitely had
Yeah,
that.
I feel like that's like the worst shit. But yeah, like
Yeah,
there'd
literally.
be stuff with food, but that'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They pour milk on your chips or something like that, or
Oh
some
yeah, yeah,
silly. So unless you're really starving and you can't eat,
yeah. Damn, imagine that.
soggy chips, there might be a problem. But apart
Oh,
from
that's
that,
so bad.
it's livable. Offense.
Kids out there on the basketball courts picking up the soggy chips because that's got to be dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go home and stick them in the air
Take away,
fryer.
take away, take away. Let them
Yeah.
dry up and dehydrate them at home.
Oh God, bro. Damn. No. That life can definitely be tough like that. I mean, I've never had to eat soggy chips, but yeah, definitely stolen food from school. But we used to like the seniors used to like toss eggs at you, right? Eggs, milk, and then once they got you with the milk, once they got you wet and they got you with the egg batter, then they throw the flour at you. That was like tops it off. And then even if they wanted to really put the cherry on top, they'd have like those fake feathers you get from the dollar store, have them in a bucket, and you'd see
Oh
someone
my
turn
god!
into a whole chicken, a whole
Oh my
fucking
god! That's hilarious, bro.
it was fucked. I remember like the schoolyard, you'd see everyone start running and you'd be like, oh my God, it's happening. And the seniors would be like running on the oval trying to like catch you, hunt you down. It was like fucking Hunger Games.
Yeah, we see in your days, you there would have been videos of all this. When I was growing
Yeah.
up, at that point, it was just becoming. So it was like even if you saw a video, it'd be potato quality. So
Yeah, it's like, look at
it
this
was
fucking.
almost like it almost didn't matter, right? Like it's just so pixelated and shit. Like you wouldn't even know
Yeah.
what you're looking at. But
Yeah, it's true.
at your time, you already had like HD shit, so it'd be everything would be documented. Everything was on Tumblr and
Yeah.
Snap or whatever the fuck it was on. But
I
I
feel
can
like it was
imagine that
Facebook.
it's
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's totally true. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't think kids feel the same way anymore because I speak with my little brother and he's like, I'm like, "God, what are you guys doing for like your senior day?" And he's like, what? I was like, are you even speaking, are you speaking the same language? I'm like, what language are like younger kids speaking now? Because I'm like, they just speak in like, in TikTok. In the comment, when you send someone a video on TikTok or Instagram, you can put a little comment and write your caption for the send. That's where they talk, but it's always attached to like a fucking a reel or something. It's like
that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I'm
like
just getting back onto social media.
yeah, true. And like you're like an OG. It's like for you, it's like what kind of to leave and then come back. It's like every time you come back, the climate's new. The climate has changed.
It feels that way, bro.
Yeah,
I do feel like an old retard that I just don't even want to learn the new shit. I'm just
yeah.
show me the basics and that's it. Like I don't
But
want to
I'm getting to
know.
that as well.
I
Instagram
don't
just
even want to know.
it's crazy. They introduced. Did you see the little side tab on Instagram? It's like a little annoying thing that hovers on the right side of the screen when the messengers. So you're trying to send like a genuine message, and this thing just like pops up into the screen. I don't even know what it is every time it
Nah, I have no idea what you're
appears.
talking about.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You haven't even seen it. It's just like fucking.
No,
It's
haven't
waiting.
been there.
It's lurking and shit. It's waiting to jump you with it. Then the next thing you know, you'll be like, "What the hell? Where'd this come from?" And it's got you right where it wants you, in the place of not knowing. It's crazy. It's actually absolutely crazy that I have no idea what to
The
think about.
AI
Like,
take over. It
bro,
knows better than you do.
what can I say, bro? I've been using ChatGPT for like countless things. It's just, it is such a good calculator, but I feel like there's such a defining line between when you're the one prompting it and when it's prompting you. You know?
Yeah, so yeah, but imagine this: like some kids growing up now will
Mm,
be growing up speaking Chat GPT prompts.
mm. Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
So at that point, it's prompting them to prompt it. So
Yeah,
so once the cycle completes, it's like motherfuckers will be speaking Chat GPT.
it's gonna be the new English.
Yeah.
The fuck? They'll be teaching it in schools. It'll be like, "Welcome to GPT 101." Like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, it's crazy. Damn, bro. It is actually like a wild. It's gonna be just like a wild place. I don't know how it's gonna come around the end of times, but like I hope it's glorious. I really hope asteroids fall from the sky and like buzzards fucking descend upon us and we get like scarab beetles and fucking
Before
dinosaurs.
it's too late.
Yeah, like it's got to be something good, bro. Don't tell me like robots. Like if it's like insta kill robots, like imagine that. That's so boring. What a way to go. Just you don't even know, and a drone comes in the room, and you're like, what the fuck? Boom. Sucks. That would
You
suck.
won't even have you won't even know shit
Yeah.
anymore.
Apparently, they've manufactured drones that are like this. It's like if they wanted to, they come and they sit on your skin and they inject you in, and it's over. I'm like, at that point, it's like crazy. Like, I'm like, it's like, what do
Or
you
they'll
mean?
just send you a fucking walkie-talkie or a beeper.
What will that do?
Oh, well, that's how Israelis fucked up the Lebanese, I think, or whatever the fuck they did. They put
The-
explosives in new shit, and, and the whole country had the fucking the walkie-talkies. They all blew up.
you need to call Ahmed, and then everyone's trying to call Ahmed, and each one by one is blowing up.
Pretty
Fuck,
much,
dude, what a
pretty
way to
much.
go, bro. They're just trying to fucking call Ahmed. Ahmed's like, I ordered kebab 20 minutes ago. Where the fuck is he?
Damn. Speaking of that, I need to go get some food.
For real, bro. We've been riffing for a minute, so I think like this is a beautiful point to leave you. It's getting late now in Australia. Um, if anyone doesn't know, my man Ilya's on the other side. We are on adjacent, on opposite sides of the globe, kind of. Well, I'm not in any of the poles, so I guess I wouldn't be
Neither am
quite
I.
accurate. True, neither is, yeah, but I feel like this place is
Yeah,
kind of
the
on the flip side.
hemisphere might be southern.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. He's my man's in the southern hemisphere, and as a matter of fact, I am in the northern. But it does feel like the other side of the world because our time zones are usually flipped. So it's nice to be able to catch this time where it's like the cruisy PMs.
Yeah,
Illy
for
G,
real.
bro, do you want to leave the people with something before we clock off?
Just much love to everyone. Yeah, nothing but love.
That's real. That's a real issue right there. ILYA. And yeah, thank
Take
you all for
care, bro.
watching.
Take care.
You too, my guy. Appreciate you, bro. We'll chop it
Thank
up.
you for having me. Yeah, we'll chop it up soon.
Um, thanks, everybody. Remember, go out there, do your thing, explore the world, make cool shit, and always skip GPT 101, okay? Always fucking skip that class, bro. See you, my guy.
Peace, peace.